I've had several people ask me to go over one of my cow horse runs and talk about how it's scored and how the scoring for this type of shows work for National Rank Cow Horse Association. So I'm going to go over this run that I had March 2nd at a National Rank Cow Horse show in Amite, Louisiana, and we'll talk about the scores that I was given. And we'll break down each maneuver in the beginning, and then at the end, I'll show you the run put together and tell you what the total score was and how it played. This is actually from the National Reining Horse Association, but it also applies here. Rule A General. To rein a horse is not only to guide him, but also to control his every movement. The best reined horse should be willingly guided or controlled with little or no apparent resistance and dictated to completely. This kind of sets the general idea of what they're looking for. Basically, if you do this with no speed or degree of difficulty, you'll get what's considered an average score, which would be a 0 maneuver score. If you have resistance, then your score is going to go down. If you have this, but with speed, which adds a degree of difficulty, then your score goes up. This is the pattern I'm going to be riding. This is pattern 12, Lope Away. Everybody gets hung up on the circles at the top. I pretty much just ignore the circles. I'll use them a little bit just for reference in the arena, what I should be looking at different points in the pattern. It's really the words at the bottom we're going to take a look at. That's the important part. This is the words at the bottom, and this pattern consists of 7 maneuvers, beginning on the right lead. I'll lope in, do a big right circle, small right circle. That's under number 1. And then change leads. Under number 2 will be 2 left circles, 1 large fast, 1 small slow, then change leads. Then number 3, run around the end of the arena, run down past the end marker, stop. Number 4, complete 3.5 spins to the left. Number 5, run down past the end marker, stop. 6, 3.5 spins right. Then number 7, run down past the middle, stop. Back at least 10 feet. So that is the 7 maneuvers that I'll be doing. Up top is the blank score sheet. You see under maneuvers, it lists 8 possible maneuvers. Some of the patterns have 8 maneuvers. This particular pattern has 7. And I'll receive a score for each individual maneuver. That score will be anywhere from -1 1/2 to +1 1/2, depending on the criteria that I talked about before. Then each score would be added up. I get a score, and if there's a penalty, I'll get a penalty. Penalties are things like trot when you're not supposed to, change lead, be in the wrong lead at the wrong place. There's quite a few different penalties. I'll show you those in just a minute. But the maneuver score will go in the row where it says score, and if I have a penalty, then the penalty will go in the row where it says penalty for the maneuver on the pattern. That way I can look back and see what score I got at what part of the pattern. This is a list of all of the reining penalties. They vary from a half-point penalty up to a penalty score 0 or a penalty no score. I've been showing these chaps for probably at least 15 years, and while I was warming up just before I went in the show, the belt came unstitched, and I had to get a piece of hay string and do a little bit of rigging so my chaps didn't fall off while I was showing. It's always something. Now we're going to talk about my rein and run, and I'll talk about what I'm thinking and what I'm doing as the run is going on. There I'm loping in on the right lead. Now I'm starting my big fast circle. I'm not asking for a whole lot of speed. I'm working towards being able to lope my big fast circles on a looser rein than what I have been doing. So I'm trying to balance a little bit of speed with a little bit looser rein. Now I'm steering into my small slow. Remember what my speed change cue is. I've talked about in some other videos. And change leads to the left. Wasn't a really great lead change. We weren't going as straight as I would like to have, but we got it done. Really no big problems, but no degree of difficulty. Now we're in our big fast left circle and our small slow left circle. I went a little bit big here. He was kind of stiff, and I felt like if I would have steered him in smaller, I would have got a little bit of resistance. So I was trying to balance the resistance with what I was getting. There's the lead change that completes that left circle maneuver. Now I'm getting set up for the next maneuver, which is a rundown. I've already picked out the spots in my dirt that I want to stop. We're building to our rundown and stop. Pretty good stop. He worries about certain things on the end of the arena, so I picked where my stop was, where I knew I could send him down. Now my left spins, 3.5 left. Could have stopped a little bit straighter, but it wasn't crooked enough to get a penalty. Get him set up. I want to get him around there so that we get a collected lope departure. If I don't get a collected lope departure, I'm not going to be able to build correctly. So now we're starting to build. And the next stop. That was a pretty nice stop. I could have drove him down a little bit faster, but I felt like if I would have done that, I would have lost some correctness. So it's always a balance. And my right spin, that was pretty good. That was better than another spin. Now I'll settle, and I'll run down to my last stop. This is a stop and then a backup. And back up. And that completes the rain and run. I'm going to turn around and call for my cow. The cow work goes immediately after you do your rain work. Okay, before I go over the cow work, before I show you my run, let's talk about what the judge is looking for. The most important point when working a cow is for the horse to have the advantage or to be in control of the cow. At the same time, the horse should exhibit a smooth willingness to do his job. He should respond to light rein and show good manners in his face and body. Judging begins when the contestant enters the arena. There should be no schooling between the completion of the rein work and the cow work when the cow is immediately following the rein work. The penalty for this will be a 0. The required pattern for the cow work is boxing. That's when I'll hold the cow on the end of the arena. Fence turns. I'll turn the cow once each direction on the long fence. And then circles. And the pattern has to be in that order. These are the penalties for the cow work. I'm not going to read over all of them individually. They range from a 1 point to a 5 point and then a no score. Basically, the 1 point and 2 point penalties are geared around position and control of the cow. And then the 3 point, 5 point, and 0 score are all based around safe handling of the cow, the horse, and the rider. Everybody being safe doing the work. These cow horse runs happen real fast, so we'll show the run and I'll put the score up. I just called for my cow. And they'll put the cow on the end of the arena. I have a 3-minute time limit to get all this done, but usually 2 minutes is about usually what it takes. Now here I'm boxing on the end. Really wasn't too happy with this cow. It's kind of a soft cow. Not really moving. He's always looking for an out. He's not really addressing my horse. I'm not going to keep him down here very long. I never box very long anyways. I want to show the cow that I can push him and I can stop him. I know my horse doesn't really like a cow that like this, so I'm not going to keep him down there long. Now I'm driving down the fence. My fast turn has to be past that green marker we just passed. Now I'll get my second fence turn. Now I need to circle. A little bit out of position right there. I'm too far back. I believe I got a penalty for that. Get my right circle. I need to be further up towards the head. This wasn't near as good as what it normally is. We have a lower score here than what we normally do, and a lot of it is just my horse doesn't like this type of cow. But we got it all done, and they blow the whistle right here. For that cow horse run, I marked a 70.5 with a 1 point position penalty, and added together, that gave me a total score of 144, which put me winning the limited open, intermediate open, and open for that show. So if you enjoy watching these kind of videos and me explaining what's going on, let me know in the comments. And this is where I come from with my training, where everything that I do from these more beginner horses and the problem horses all builds towards showing in an event like this or a ranch event. And if you would like to see more videos of Hank, I have a playlist. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll be up here at the top. Thank you for watching.